Hello, everyone. Welcome to our January 28th, 2020 broadcast. Is everyone hearing me okay? I hope so. Looks like it. We are really excited that you're able to join us live or view this as a recorded webinar. Today's topic is going to be Strive updates. Paige, are you able to hear me okay?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
See, we're pros. We're
Well,
good at this.
and so I'm having all kinds of tension.
Oh. Y'all, we are really excited about today because we're going to be sharing some new things that are going to be coming out in Strive. You know, over the past few months, we've gathered feedback from our focus groups and various customers about some of our features, and we're really excited to share those today. The customers who are part of those focus groups have been testing the features with us, and they've been giving us great insight. So we're hoping that everything that we're sharing today is something that is going to excite you and get you interested in what's going to be coming out. Before I go on, I do want to introduce that voice that we just heard. It's not just me presenting. I'm joined by my partner in crime and fellow professional learning and coaching team member, Paige Parker.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, Paige. How was your trip to Austin?
It was lovely.
Very good. And we are really, I'll say this, I'm Joel. I'm the one on the right. I didn't say that while ago, but I'm Joel. So we are really happy to be here. It seems like we do these webinars every week, just the two of us. I assure you there are upcoming webinars where the aware people will speak as well. So it's not just Paige and I all the time. We do try to let other people speak and share on these webinars as well. I do want to share upcoming events and webinars. If you go to our help section, there's a section called training and webinars, and in the top left, you have access to upcoming events and upcoming webinars, and there's links in there you can click on to register for those specific events. We only have one more ESC event, and it's coming up in March. It's March 24th. It's ESC 15, and it'll be in San Angelo. And the ESC events are great. They're great networking events, and it's when our ESC partners as well as some of our Eduphoria trainers are there. We provide training on topics, and then it's also a great place to ask questions and to introduce yourself and meet other Eduphorians in your area to find out how they're using products and maybe establish contacts with someone who's using it in a way that you want to get help from another district or share your help with another district. I know that when I was an Eduphorian in a district, I would reach out to the other people around me and see what they were doing with the different applications and then try to get some free tips from them. So it's a great way to meet other people and to learn how to use the different applications. Something else that is happening is TCEA. And I know that most of the people who attend our Strive trainings, our webinars, will be at TCEA, and we hope that you will be there. We are really always excited to be at TCA. We have a really fun booth. If you've never been there before, please come by our booth. We also reveal our annual bumper sticker award winner. We have free swag, things to pick up at our booth, and then we're going to have surprises. We're not allowed to say what it is. I'm not going to reveal a secret, but our booth is going to be very, very fun this year. And we know that everyone's going to be talking about what we have in our booth. And so what I thought I would do is show you, like, in the exhibitor map that TCA has on their website. So I went there just to show you on the screen. It's this map. It's got all the, like, when you hover over it, it shows you all the different vendors. But usually at the exhibit hall, there's one entrance to go into. And so when you go in the entrance, you want to walk, not run. and you can go down this little middle aisle. You just go past these people, turn left, and we are right in this area here. So Eduphoria, it's booth 1825 and 1924, because we always have like double a booth, like an L-shaped booth. Come by there, say hello, join the fun, pick up cool stuff. If you're not attending, but you know people in your district are attending, tell them to go by the booth and get you some of our swag, because it's unfair that you didn't get to go. But we hope you come by, that you see us. We always like talking to our customers. It's great to put a name and a face together. And so we really are hoping that you come by. And the things that we're showing today are kind of like a sneak peek of what we will be showing at TCEA. So we will go more in depth in things in the booth. We'll even let you interact with what we're showing so you can see how it works. We're showing today the Strive stuff. The Aware team will be there as well. So they're going to be showing some new stuff that's coming out in Aware. So it's a great time to come by, learn more, interact with us, and interact with the new features in Strive and Aware. So again, today's webinar is really just that sneak peek for what we're going to be showing at TCA for Strive and what will be coming out very, very soon. We'll talk about that in just a second. So here's what we're going to cover today. Very exciting stuff. We'll be looking at some of the new reports. Yes, new reports that are coming out and refinements to a report that already exists. We're going to cover some of the new course creation refinements. And we're also, well, Paige will be providing, and I'll be heckling her. No, I'll be helping her. We're going to be showing a preview of changes to the tabs in Strive, the evaluation tab specifically. The most frequent question we get as we start sharing is, when will this come out? And I thought I would address that first. Paige and I, we don't really have an actual date, but we can share that most of these changes will come out in February. We will not release it next week, because so many of our training and support team will be at TCEA. It would be unfair of us to release something and not be on hand to help address questions that customers may have. So I would, without giving a date, I'm going to say after TCEA, these things will come out. February. Okay. So before you ask that question, before posting that question in the little question box, just know it's coming out very soon. We try to show what's coming out right before it comes out. We don't like to show something and then go, oh, it's coming out like next year. We want to make sure that what we're showing is going to be coming out very, very soon, so that you are going to have access to that. Okay, I want to talk about a report. And that report is called the Goal Details Spreadsheet Export. Okay, long name. There was already a goal detail, it was a goal summary spreadsheet export, but this is a new one that people have been asking for, which is, how many of you have asked for a way to export all of the goal statements from Strive, or what the goals were tagged with? So on the right is the list of the fields that will extract in this report. So you're going to have the staff member's name, the campus they're at, what framework they're tied to, what is their appraisee type, who is their appraiser, and then their actual goal statement. You'll be able to select between student growth goals and professional goals. So you can run one report, so all the professional goals, and one report that's all the student growth goals with those goal statements. You'll also see the status. Has it been approved? Has it been marked completed? If it has a target completion date, what is that date? What were the success criteria someone entered that they wanted for that? And then what is the status of that goal? Is it submitted, completed, approved? Or if it was archived, what dates were those archived? And so, more than just showing you this, I want to say this report actually came out this week. So you already have access to this. It is in your Strive reports under appraisal reports, and it's under the goal summary spreadsheet export. It's called the goal details spreadsheet export. You should see that one already. That one should be out already. So it's going to provide those details to you. So what I did is I went ahead and created like an example of what this looks like. And I put mine up into a Google spreadsheet so that I could open it quickly. But basically the columns are there. So you're going to have the names of your staff, what campus they belong to, what framework, what is their appraisee type, who is their appraiser, and then it shows the actual goal statement they entered, as long as that could be. Then it'll have the status. Oh, I slid too far. Is it approved, unsubmitted, approved, the different ones that are there. What did they enter in as the target completion date? It also has the success criteria they may have entered in for what they're working on. I hate it when I do that. And then it's going to show the specific standards and tags that they put for the goal that they're working on, as well as the date that they submitted it and the date it was approved. If it's been marked completed already, it'll have the date it was marked completed during the time frame you are running the report. And then also, if it was archived during that time, the date that it was archived. So that's a pretty exciting one. I know that we've had a lot of customers ask for a way to, is there a way to get for me to get a list of all the goals that my teachers have put in? And the answer is now yes.
Yes. So we do have a woohoo comment, which is what I was waiting for. So woohoo! And I did want to throw one other thing in there. I don't know if you're going to talk about this or not, but since this exports to a spreadsheet, whether you throw it up into Google like Joel did or just leave it in Excel the way it downloaded to your computer, once it's there, you can format the columns. So you could set the goal statement and the criteria to wrap so that you didn't have to slide as much. Whatever formatting you want to do on that, you have control of it once you export that list. So you can sort it however you want to, group it however you want to. You get lots of control over that data once you run this spreadsheet export.
Correct. And the key is, again, you would run it for your professional goals or your student growth goals. So you could actually run the two separate and blend them together if you want, or if you wanted to do it by campus and sort, you can do that. You can select, this one has it select for all campuses, or you can select one specific campus to pull that report. And so it's just a simple selection for what you're needing to pull. The key to running that report, though, let's just be honest, is you have to be using our professional goals in your appraisal setup. And so when you are creating your appraisee types and you are using the steps and the tasks need to go to a professional goal for that to pull that report. If you're still using the old forms to do goal setting where people are entering in a self-reflection and then they're typing into a document that's set up inside of Strive, then that goal report is not going to pull that information because it's looking at professional goals and student growth goals using our dynamic forms. So it's just a reminder to try to use and set up your appraisee types using the dynamic forms that we have in our system so that it pulls that data effectively for you. The next report, this is very exciting, is the evaluation process status report. And it is a report that's going to come out in February, so you do not have access to this yet. So you're not going to see this on your side, but it will show up again as an appraisal report that can be pulled down. Now, there was a report called the evaluation status report. This report will be under it as it shows here. It's going to be called the evaluation process status report. And what it does is it lets you select your appraisee type and then a campus or multiple, like you can do all campus. But it has this little check mark right here. Shanna she was like, please make sure to show the color code the report. So this is a brand new option that we have in this particular type of form, where it's going to pull the evaluation status for the appraisee type. So basically the report captures the progress of the evaluation process for an appraisee type based on tasks that have been completed. And the key word is in completed. So let's talk about this before I show it. If you're using electronic signatures and the document has to be signed by both the appraisee and the appraiser for it to be considered completed, then that rule will still apply in this document. So it has to hit that completed step in the process. If you're not using electronic signatures or they're not turned on, the document will appear in the report after the appraiser allows the employee to view the document and that appraisee has viewed it. So the steps are that the task has to be completed for the users for it to show the data into the form. And then all goals will count if they've been approved. That means they've met the requirement of the actual evaluation process step. And then existing goals that are on the goals tab and are not included in the evaluation process will not be included in this report because the users would have to move their goal into that evaluation process. So I'm saying all this to say it's not going to be the end all for everything that you need for looking at the evaluation process. It's really just looking at the status of completion of individual staff in the process. And I want to know if jaws drop when I show this report. This is what that type of report will look like. And by color coding, we have a key down here to kind of explain what the color code means. So red would be the value of where they are on that particular item. So in this column here, we have professional goal. 0 goals have been submitted or marked as approved for the ones that are in red. And that means red is the day that they were due or beyond the day that they were set as being due in the evaluation process. When it's yellow, yellow indicates it's like a hazard. It's in danger, as we call it. And it means it's 2 weeks prior to the deadline. And that's not business weeks, that's 14 days. So 14 days prior to it going red, this task has not been completed for that particular user. So again, the columns over here, there's a campus name, the appraiser's name, the appraisee's name, and then it's the steps that you've defined in the appraisal process, the evaluation process for that particular type that you ran the report to see who is out of compliance by color or by warning color for whatever the steps are in that evaluation. And I went ahead and put a picture down here of what shows in Excel. So when you run this report and you open it in Excel, it's got the color code here and it's showing the overdue, it's showing in danger would be the yellow color. And you can even apply these other colors if you want. When you select a cell, you can like color code it to your own, so showing someone's good. But just showing how that color coding works for looking at how it's going across the campus or the district for making sure everyone's being evaluated according to the timeline. So this is what it looks like. It's a simple, you select the appraisee type, you select the campus, you select if you want it color coded. If you don't want it color coded, you don't have to. It's up to you. You would check that box and it comes in as that spreadsheet. And once again, this is dependent on how you've set up the evaluation process. So here I am in Strive and I'm in the evaluation process for a teacher, and I've set for walkthroughs that they're using a document. Maybe I've set a due date for when all walkthroughs need to be completed and how many need to be completed for that particular type of the step in the evaluation. And then that's the type of information that coordinates in this report, because it's pulling based on the deadline that you set in the evaluation process. Paige, other questions about this or anything I can review?
Well, I just had a mishap with my computer, so I'm trying to get back to the questions. Okay, here we go. We do have does the select appraisee type on that last report have a select all option available? I think the answer is no, that you select all on the campuses, but you only look at one appraisee type at a time.
Yes, and so if you think about it, if you look at the actual what it delivers, if you did all appraisee types, the steps wouldn't match the header. So you can only do one appraisee type at a time, because the headers would be all over the place for the multiple appraisee types that have different steps in the evaluation process. Good question. I'm glad you're back, Paige.
Thank you. Okay, so we have another question. Since the system isn't correctly reporting or recognizing electronic signatures, will that be fixed before this report is released?
Oh, I haven't heard about that. Is that, I'm guessing that's maybe that's a district ticket, or I don't know if that's like company-wide or if that's for an individual district, but the hope would be, yes, that would be fixed.
Yeah, I think the reporting recognizing electronic signatures is just the fact that on the display, when they have signed, it still says signature required even after they have signed it. But the system does in the background know that it's signed. It's just displaying incorrectly on that one place. And I think
okay.
So I do believe that the signatures will be coming in correctly on this new report, and hopefully they will have the other thing fixed very shortly as well.
Correct. So like if you run the unsigned documents report, it's recognizing in that report, like you said, the trigger is happening behind the scenes. It's not displaying the right wording on the screen. Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. And so again, the information that is, and we'll have this in our online help, and I'm going to try to attach this slideshow to all of you so you can see this information and the example spreadsheets. But if you're coming to TCA, you'll want to come there because you can like really interact with it and ask questions of our product managers too. But yeah, so just making sure that you have all the information about what this report can do, but along with knowing everything has to be in that completed state for the report to verify the information, or at least going close to when it needs to be completed and it's in danger. I like that it's called in danger. It's in danger of not being met in time for the deadline. This is like fantastic. I hope we got a lot of woohoos on this one because it's really a good report. And I like the color coding. I'm a visual person, so I hope other people like it as well. Okay. The next part that we're showing is a report that was already released. So this is a report that you already have in Strive. It's in the workshop reports, and it's the custom professional development report. And for those of you that also use facilities and events, for example, you're probably used to the type of report which allows you to click and drag the column headers over that you would want to pull the data into a spreadsheet. And so the custom professional development report has added a few fields. And so again, this is something that was already available. And the way it works is you just drag drop your fields over. So we added some new options, which I have shown here on the screen. One of them is credit earned, and also earned credit type, along with the new option to view was the survey completed for that particular course. So when you pull this over and you're looking at your courses, was the survey completed by user? And then there was a request from districts to have the ability to pull the course creator's name over as well to view that data. So New additional fields would be credit earned, earned credit type, survey completed, and course creator. And I wanted to show if you're going to be using these two types when you're wanting to see for the report, you want to see how much credit was awarded, you will use credit earned. That's going to be the numeric value. You'll also want to pull this one with it, which is earned credit type. So one column will be the numeric value for what was earned, and then earned credit type will be the actual credit types that you assigned to the course where that numeric value occurs. So here's an example of what this report looks like. You have the title of your courses. So again, I'm going off of what I selected here. Title, credit earned, earned credit type, was the survey completed, course creator. And so I have the title. It's showing me the numeric value of the credit that was earned in the course. And then the earned credit type would be the particular credit types that you have in the system providing those credits. Was the survey completed? Yes, no, or, and also who created those courses, which was Paige and my dog, Baxter Adkins and Milo Parker, was creating all these courses. So it's just there were some fields that people had requested, and we brought those back in so that it's a fuller report. It's almost every field that's available for what you're wanting to run for using that type of report. It's a custom report. Again, you click and drag over the headers that you want, and it extracts that information for you into a spreadsheet for your own sorting and using to get the information that you may need. Paige, any questions on that?
No, not right now.
Okay, that one is not out yet. Those options are not there yet. This report is out, the custom professional development report. It is available. You can access it now. These 4 fields have not been pushed out yet. They will be very soon. So if you're looking for them right now and not seeing them, it's because you don't have them yet. Only Paige and Shannon and I do. No, but you will. You will have them very, very soon. Paige, I think it's your turn. Are you taking over?
I will take, let me, yes.
Oh, do you need me to do something?
No, I'm just.
Do you need me to juggle or?
I had to type one word. Okay, now there are some questions in there for you, but I'm going to close the.
I will answer them
for you. Yeah, and I'm going to say I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
And hopefully I'm sharing the right screen with no junk. So I want to go back to. I hate when it puts that up at the top and I can't see. We are still getting used to.
We are.
To Zoom.
I see your screen.
Okay, good.
It's got Eddie on the left.
Now you should be seeing my evaluation process screen, which is not this. This is what I wanted to talk about. So here we go.
Yes.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is course creation, copying the courses over. And if we have any PD people on the call, this is where I'm expecting some woohoos, because we're going to talk about something that has been asked for since the process has been moved into Strive, or actually even before that, just since Dimensions came into being with our process. So I'm going to go into Strive and show you creating a course. So if I go into workshop settings and I want to do course management, just a regular old course, and I'll say I want to add a new course, I get the option of creating a blank one from scratch, a new empty course, or copying an existing course. So I have a course over here that I've already offered, and I'm going to offer it again. It went well, want to do it some more. So I'm going to go in and say I want to look for cool tools, and it's going to find, oh, it found so many of them. Where's my most recent one? There we go. So this is the one I want to copy, and I'm going to say next, and it, as always, it brings in the title and the description. Any of the information that you had before will be there. The only thing you have to change is the dates. So I'm going to go in and say I want to offer this in February 2, because it was so popular, and I'm going to pick the 19th of February, I'm going to keep my times the same. And so it automatically changes the date on the second one. And then I'll say next. And it's going to copy all of the settings that we had before. Now, what was happening previously is when I came in here to t-test, I had to choose those settings again. Now, one of the improvements is that it brings the dimension settings from the original course into the copied course. So, woohoo, you don't have to go back and look what dimensions did I assign to it before and go in and put those dimensions in again. It's going to bring in all the dimensions that you used when you offered that course before. So that's something that as soon as it went out, people said, well, it should copy that. And so they've gotten that fixed, and now it is copying that over so that when you create the new course and say you want to begin editing, that course is essentially ready to go. It has all of the settings, any goals that were tied to it. It has the same creator and instructor. It has the same dimensions, the same credit types. So everything you offered before is there, and no need to go in and make any adjustments unless you just found something that you wanted to change. At this point, you're ready. It's published. You're ready for people to sign up for it, or you could go in and enroll them yourself, or you could go in and grab that URL, because it does give it, even though it's a copied course, it gives it a unique URL that you could copy and email out to people. So to me, that's a tiny thing and yet a big time saver, that you don't have to go in and check every single course that you create. I know a lot of the larger districts offer things multiple times, and that's going to be a time saver for you. So hopefully that was a woohoo. Joel, any questions about that?
You got a yay and a we have people that will love this.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. It's not a big thing, so there's not a lot to question about it, but it is going to be a big thing for the people that have been having to check those dimensions every single time. So they'll be happy. Okay, now we are beginning the sneak peek portion. So the things that we've talked about up until now, well, Joel had a couple of reports that haven't been pushed out, but one of the goals reports is already pushed out, and the dimensions with professional development is already pushed out. You have access to those. Everything from this point on is going to be what Joel said. The answer is February. So the question I know is going to be, when do we get this? And the answer is February. We think probably shortly after TCEA. We do want to be back in our offices and have everybody there to answer questions if they come up, but we are going to give you a sneak peek of the changes to the evaluation process. So this is what the new evaluation process screen is going to look like. Ta-da! So for your users, everybody who logs in is going to see this screen when they first log in. So there are some things that are new to this screen, and there are some things that are missing to this screen. We're used to seeing across the top where it says Strive, we're used to seeing some tabs. There's not a goals tab anymore, and there's not a professional development tab or an evaluation process tab. It just lands on evaluation process, so that's everything here, no tab. And over on the left, you'll see a My Professional Learning button and a My Evaluation Process button over here. So this is where you would go to get your PD. Goals are completely incorporated into the evaluation process now. So there's not a separate goals tab. You just have basically two sections, looking at your professional development, looking at your evaluation process, or going to available courses to register for something new. So that's what you're going to see at this point going forward. If you have any additional roles and rights above and beyond what a teacher or end user would have, if you're an appraiser, if you're a course creator, if you're an administrator of Strive, then you will also have this settings button over here. So one more view of this. This box up at the top is everything that everybody sees. So everybody in the district will have those 4 things. That's the personal view. And then if you have some management rights that are tied to your role above and beyond what your regular users have, then you will have those management options under settings. It doesn't list everything out like it previously did. It just has settings until, if you notice, there is that little caret to drop down. And the other thing that I want you to notice is that on the side of each one of the steps in the evaluation process, there is a drop-down arrow as well. This is something that we've had questions about in the past, requests for, so that you can collapse, and I can see all of the steps in my evaluation process right here. But when I need to do one, I can expand it, and then when I'm done with it, I can collapse it. So at the beginning of the year, all of your teachers go in and do their goal setting, and they're done with that. They can collapse it, get it out of their way so that the next steps show up for them. They don't have to scroll down on that screen. Okay. If you are an appraiser or a professional development course creator or an administrator that has some part in setting up the back end, when you click on that settings drop-down arrow, you will see the management options expand. And this is what you're used to seeing over there, the campus view, credits that are waiting for your approval, appraisal alerts, and then reports and settings to go in and build or get your data out of the system. So this part over here, the management options, once expanded, should look familiar to those of you who've been working in the background. That takes you to the list that you saw before. Any other questions about the look, the change in the views?
Well, we're getting some questions, and it's really, there's questions that it's hard for us as trainers to be showing this and then having to explain why we're changing the look of Strive. And maybe that's a conversation about timing of releasing the change of this at this time of the school year. And that's a conversation that we really take seriously.
We do.
As I said before, we have focus groups and we have dialogue with customers, and we do take those concerns into consideration. One of the big things that happens is a lot of districts will say, well, why can't you release this over summer? And then we'll hear from the people who are doing PD saying, well, don't release this over summer because I don't have a way to train my people before they get into the system where they're needing to access things. And so we know like right now, the evaluation process is in full swing. People are mostly doing walkthroughs and observations at this time. It's a good time before the summative and the end of year to release this. But yes, if it's something where you have a real concern about the timing of the release, this webinar is not a good time for us to go through it because we're just really trying to showcase this. But we do want feedback, so please contact us. You can email us at training@eduphoria.net. We are in communication with the product team and our company. We can talk about these things further. We're, like I said, TCEA is a great time. We're in the booth. Come by and talk to us. The product managers will be there as well. So we're open to conversation about it. We just don't have time in this 1 hour webinar.
Okay, so shoot us an email with those things. I will say this before we finish with this particular topic. Nothing is going away from this. You're not losing any of the access to any of the data that you're used to seeing. It's just a matter of expanding or collapsing. And so let me come over here and show you an example of one. Once you go into an expanded, this is the self-reflection and goals, I've expanded that so the arrow is pointing up and not down. I have everything that was on my professional goal. I can click there and view the goal. I can click over here and add specific steps to it. And I also see the timeline and the status that I've seen before. So the timeline comes from the goals tab. It was on both the goals tab and the evaluation process tab. So this information combines what you had with the goals tab and what you had with the evaluation process. So you're not losing anything. They just have to click on a tab to see it all and then collapse it back down so that it doesn't show. Because what we were hearing is once that's expanded, it takes up this whole page and they have to scroll. Then they have to scroll through all of everything that's showing for the goals tab, and then they have to scroll through the walkthrough. So once they're done with these two, they can collapse them and just focus on the things that they have upcoming. It was designed to make it a little more user-friendly view. and to get everything a little more clean. You'll notice with all applications, I think there are releases constantly happening with, you know, Google Docs. Oh, they changed this, they changed that. It's not that we change it just to be random. It's based on things that we're hearing from customers. We do have groups of schools that participate in focus groups and evaluate things and talk to us about what they're needing. And like Joel said, we'd be happy to hear from you guys at the booth or in an email if you have concerns about some of the changes. Okay, so the next thing that's different, and you'll notice when you're looking at the screen, you used to have less screen real estate for the actual evaluation process, because over on the right-hand side is where the uploaded documents and evidence were, and they were taking up some of that screen space. So they have been moved down to the bottom below the process. Oops, didn't mean to scroll over. So if you have uploaded evidence, it will show down here below instead of beside. And then if you have reference documents available, they will show down at the bottom. Now, the reference documents are things that the district uploads for the teachers to know about, not things that the teachers upload. That would be the uploaded evidence. But if the district wants to put a list of the dimensions out there for all the teachers to be able to see, or anything about the district's appraisal process for their teachers to be able to see, those would be in reference documents. If your district doesn't put any reference documents out there, then that box won't even show. It only appears if you put something in there. So you may have just down to end of year summary or uploaded evidence and nothing at the bottom of that. That's because your district hasn't loaded anything up there yet. So you can see those two things down at the bottom, and it gives you more screen space for everything else. Okay, and then again, this is just another screen with follow-up. Those are new locations, and the fact that they only show up if you've put something in there. And then, as I said earlier, you would just click to expand on one of those items, whichever section you want to see, so that you can see all of the pieces within that. And it collapses in order to give you more room, and then you just click on the arrows to expand or collapse. So again, this is what the goals one looks like, the self-reflection and goals. It's going to list out all of those tasks. If they had a self-assessment, it would be up there. In this case, they have multiple goals. So it'll show all of the goals listed there and the status of each one of the goals. One's been approved, two have only been submitted. And then I could also, I think this shows on the next, nope. I could also click on those three little dots. And the three little dots is going to show me the action choices. So do I want to mark it complete? Do I want to copy it to a new goal? Do I want to delete that goal or remove it? Those would be things that I did under the three little dots. And then if I click on the colon, that gives me the action choices. So where's the colon? Oh no, that's just what she put for the three little dots. Okay. So I can click on the plus sign up at the top to add to, or I can click on the name of the goal and view that. I can see all of the information that I want to see there. And then if I go to my professional learning, this looks a little bit different. The enrolled courses, we used to have, it said current, I can't remember what the middle one said. I think current, completed, and history is what it said previously. And there was some confusion about current and completed, because the current was ones that I hadn't finished, but the completed was ones I'd finished still in this instructional year. So we moved them up to the top, and you still can go and look at your enrolled courses. These are things that I have not completed this year. I'm still working on all these things. Either if it's an online course, then I have not completed it. If it's a standard course, then those dates haven't come up yet, and it hasn't happened, or my person hasn't gone in and given me credit for it. So those are things that have not been marked completed in my history. If I clicked on completed courses, it would show me the ones that I have completed only during this school year. So anything that I've completed since June of 2019 until now would show up under completed. And then when I go to my portfolio, everything that I've completed since the beginning of time in Eduphoria would show up there. So I can view the three different ways here. And then if I want to update my portfolio, and that's where I would go to request credit for a course, or to add a new certificate that I have received that I'm going to have to apply for, and I want to monitor that. If I want to do any of that updating stuff, that's going to be over here. So again, the idea here was to give you more screen real estate for viewing the courses, and have those a little more prominent. They were 3 little buttons over on the right, and they were kind of getting lost. So to have the 3 different views just to be a little bit more prominent up there. Okay, before Joel takes back over, are there any questions that I need to answer, or you think the questions are going to be coming in through emails and things like that?
You know, we have a lot of questions. It's actually a lot more just kind of feedback, and it's hard to get into individual questions because
Right.
we're showing these from screenshots. It's hard for us to go in and answer every, how will we see this and how will we see that? And I wish we had time to show every detail and to show you how it reacts and interacts and things like that. The key really is that, like Paige was saying, that there's not much of a change. The goals tab has gone away, yes, but we get a lot of feedback from people about the ability to make the screen easier on mobile devices. We often hear that from principals and those who are doing appraisals. And so the fundamental function was to create more real estate on the screen and also have those collapsible elements like she was showing in the evaluation process, because that seems to be the key that a lot of the principals and central office staff, those that are running appraisals, are asking for the ease of access on more than just what we consider like a Chromebook. Like, the reality is most of our appraisers are doing the types of appraisals on a mobile phone or something, a small
They're
screen.
smaller.
I
Yeah.
almost said Palm Pilot. I know that's wrong. So we are the reason, and so that's really the reason for this. And I know what you're asking. You want more details, and like I said, I hope you are able to come to TCEA. This is not released yet. We don't have a set date for when this change will be coming. I know the reports, those tools are going to come sooner than possibly the change to the UI, the user experience on the screen. We are, like those of you that have left comments, we're going to share those comments with our
Absolutely.
product manager. I mean, don't feel like you have to email and say, well, I said it like 6 times in the Q&A. We will share that information with everyone. So we're doing our best to make it easier. The other thing is, several of you have asked for, is there like a presentation or like a slideshow or an article where you'll have this? And the answer is there will be. The problem just has been travel. I'll be honest. Paige and I both do a lot of the online help articles. We just have not had time. Like, I'm literally leaving at 3 o'clock from my office to go to Austin for a whole day of meetings tomorrow, and then I have a conference next week. But I'm hoping to have the presentation that we shared in this webinar included in the link. You'll receive the link automatically to the recorded webinar. So we'll have that link in there. That will be in our help section. And then, yes, I will take additional screenshots with explanations and post those in our help documents. Any type of images or videos that we have in our help articles, you have access to those. You can use our images and put them in your own presentation or some type of training tool you use. So feel free to create content from the content we share, because we know, like, sometimes you have a better way of explaining things in your district than we do in a help article, but you don't have time to go create the screenshots. So please use whatever resources we have in our help for free. Like, take it and run with it. We love that.
Yes.
So anyway, yes, we will have more step-by-step. We'll probably have a side-by-side comparison document as well that's going to show this is where you used to go, and here's where you go now for this. So we want to make sure we do provide enough and adequate, beyond adequate training resources for you.
Yes, but I do want to reiterate that you did not lose any of the functionality, or you will not, when this gets pushed out to all districts, lose any of the functionality that you had before. The only difference is the tabs aren't at the top, everything's incorporated in, and you have to click on the collapse or expand button to see everything and then collapse it back down. But everything is there. They moved in everything that was on the goals tab into
Mm-hmm.
the goals part of the evaluation process. So nothing about the functionality has gone away. It's just a different look. Like Joel used the expression user experience, and it is the experience both on the computer but also on those mobile devices. And this is going to make it way more user friendly for your principals who are going out and doing those appraisals, I think.
Yeah, we hope it's better.
Do.
It looks prettier.
Okay, Joel, I'm going to click stop share and it's going to be back to you.
Okay, I see it. That's a good thing. So let me show this screen. Here we go. There we go. Oh man, I'm way in the slides. Let me go all the way forward.
Jump, jump, jump.
Jump, jump, jump. Here we go. Past all this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So just letting you know, we're not going to have a Wednesday webinar next week. We are, like I said, most of us will be in Austin at TCEA. It's a huge thing for us. That's a conference that the company really got started by going to. And if you've never been to our booth before, like some of our, I don't know that this year our support people are there. Usually there's a line of people to say hi to Lee. He's got like a huge fan base. But I don't know that Lee will be there. But like our chiefs are usually there. So like Tim may be there. He's like the original founder of the company. And then Colin, some people are like, where's Colin? So Colin will be there as well, and different members of our training and PLC team will be there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So unfortunately, because we're all going to be there, we're not going to be able to host a webinar. So the next Wednesday webinar that we do will be February 12th, and that's going to be focused on facilities and events. It'll be lovely Paige and I again. We have cornered the market on these Wednesday webinars, Paige. And we're going to be covering just inventory management and facilities and events. A few weeks ago, we did reservation management. This time, we're going to focus on inventory management in the reservation system, that is facilities and events. And then we're taking a break so that the AWARE team can present. They're going to be doing test authoring, online testing, and proctoring on February 19th. And that's just through the rest of February. We will have other topics and dates and links ready for those for you to register as well. And then just a reminder for training, we're part of the PLC team now, which is the used to be called training team. We still do training. The thing about our training is it's not just the click, it's really the best practices as former users, and also as we've been learning with our users across the state and outside of the state even. Best practice and implementation. So we do offer tailored training for your team, whether it's on-site, online, or on demand. And I know that Jenny did a training recently, a webinar, and she just reminded everyone, if you're starting to plan your summer staff development schedule and you're wanting to bring in anyone from our team, now is the time to start planning and scheduling those, especially the AWARE and STRIVE and forethought trainings. Now would be the time to start getting those in the books because we have a limited amount of trainers and our schedules fill up pretty quickly. So just a reminder of that. Thank you all for joining us. We hope that this was informational for you, information that is worth sharing. I'm, of course, really excited about the progress that we're making, the reporting tools, and also the interface changes. I know Paige is as well. If you are, you'll be, oh yeah, I meant to say this. So We changed our webinar software. It used to send a link 4 hours after the webinar, but this new one will not send it until tomorrow. The earliest it will send is tomorrow. So you should be receiving a link to this recorded webinar, and I'll also include a link to the presentation that has, for each one of those reports, if you click on the image of the report, it will open the example report I had on the screen, so you can see it that way as well. And then hopefully we'll be able to get the articles created and shared and get that information to you. I think someone asked, will you be able to share when the new articles are posted? And the answer is we can. We have, when you register, we have all of your emails, so we could send an email, a follow-up email to you to let you know the articles are ready if you want to get that information. And then the next thing someone said, will you let us know when this new interface will launch? The answer is yes. We try to give enough warning for any type of interface change beyond just a webinar, of course. So the answer is yes, we will give heads up, making sure you are aware of the changes so you can inform your team as well. All right, I think I've talked enough and I have to get on the road. So everyone, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Paige, for helping and joining and leading and sharing as well.
Thanks everybody for your time, and we hope to see some of you at the booth next week.
That's right.
And at the webinar the week after.
Yeah, we'll see you at facilities and events, inventories, our favorite topic. All right, thank you everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.